Welcome back to the channel. So we've received a ton of comments from you guys about the first video I did on the financial freedom series. We really appreciate you guys watching it, giving us your feedback, letting us know what you want to hear more about. I'm currently looking through all the comments and trying to figure out what would be the next videos to do. So in the future, keep on giving us those comments and letting us know what you'd like to hear about next. But what I heard time and time again from the first video was how to afford healthcare and how to be healthy on the road. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to include your health and well-being into your plan towards financial freedom. And what that's going to look like is I'm going to list 7 different ways of helping you afford healthcare, or at the very least, keeping you healthy out there. First and foremost, I hear you when you say that the prices for healthcare is exorbitant. Honestly, it sucks. I think it's ridiculous, but that's not what we're here for today. Again, I can't go through the in-depths of every single scenario, but at least I can point you in the right direction and let you know that these are options out there. I also want to say that I highly recommend that you talk to a professional health insurance agent, because they're going to be able to give you more information on what other possibilities there are, if there's different policies that you may be covered under, and there might be better deals out there. Okay, I'm probably going to say this in every single one of my videos, so I apologize for it, but I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to get that emergency fund up and running today. It'll create so much less stress in your life that you'll be able to survive those ebbs and flows of your income and those times when you're just not making as much money. If you have that all taken care of, you're gonna create less stress in your life, which then leads to a much healthier lifestyle. I think I've covered that enough times, but let's go ahead and get into the good stuff. So the first thing on my list today is find a job. I know sometimes easier said than done, but it's worth looking into this option because there are so many companies now that are giving full benefits to people that are only working part-time. So some of the ones that I've found, I've worked for Starbucks in the past, so I know that they offer benefits to people working over 20 hours a week. There are a bunch of other companies. There's Staples, there's Walmart, Costco. I know that a lot of us are not in one location for the entire year, but it does give you an option out there. Now, there's also going to be some companies that offer remote work. Look for those kind of remote jobs that maybe offer those, part-time benefits and so forth. So definitely something to look into. So number 2 on my list today is the health exchanges or health marketplaces. And that is all part of the Affordable Care Act. I go through the state exchanges and marketplaces, and that's how I get health insurance. So my recommendation is go to the marketplace website for your particular state and play with the numbers. You may actually find the less money you make, the better off you are. You might get better coverage and larger subsidies, because that's what all these healthcare plans are about, is getting the subsidies, especially for those of us who don't make very much money each year. You may find that at the end of the year when you do your taxes, that it may be the time to start investing into an IRA, quite honestly, because if you put a little bit of money into an IRA, it'll drop you down to the next bracket and it will make your subsidies increase. Thus, you're getting more bang for the buck. It's just an option out there. Again, you need to play with the numbers, but just know the state marketplace is one of the first places you should go to check out your insurance options. Now, I do have one warning for you guys on this one. You get insurance through the marketplace, through the Affordable Care Act for your particular state. Unfortunately, you only get emergency care and urgent care out of your state of residence. Be aware of that, because a lot of us nomads, we're not in the state where we reside, and so our insurance isn't necessarily always near us. Yes, you will be covered in an emergency situation, you'll be covered for urgent care, but any kind of follow-up care or any kind of illnesses that are prolonged, you will need to go back to your state of residence to make sure you're covered in those situations. Now, depending on your income levels, you may only qualify for a high deductible plan for health insurance. You might want to get a supplemental plan that would cover that first part of the deductible. You also may want to look into a health savings account where you can put money tax-free into these accounts, then use them for medical situations, for paying for deductibles, things like that. So number 3 on my list today is Medicare and Medicaid. Honestly, I don't know a ton about this particular subject. What I'd recommend is that you talk to your fellow nomads who are in the similar situation, and if they get insurance through Medicaid or Medicare, ask them what they do, because there's also supplemental plans that you can go and get to help cover some of those costs that Medicare and Medicaid do not cover. And you can get that through AARP, you can get that through other health insurance agencies. It's just something that you need to do a little more research on how to qualify for that. But again, that is the goal, is to get covered by Medicare and Medicaid. So after the age of 65, you'll be good to go. You'll still have some out-of-pocket expenses, but at least you will be covered. Talk to your fellow nomads, talk to the community at large. With that, you can kind of figure out what is the best option for you. Okay, that brings us to number 4 on the list. So one of the things I've run into, and this was in Pahrump, Nevada, is that they have medical care units, or what they call them a RAM, remote area medical. They will offer free medical, dental, vision, and mental health exams and services. So this is huge. You do have to wait in line for them, and you do have to sign up for it, but be aware that those are out there, and it is absolutely free. These are very, very important to the nomadic community and those of us who don't make much money each year. They also have some other options out there, that they have other clinics and so forth for your local area. So if you are visiting a city, you may want to talk to social services or one of the medical clinics there to see if they have anything to offer for those of us that are low income. Because a lot of times they're going to know where to send you. Also, some of the urgent cares, they are usually a lot cheaper, certainly a lot cheaper than an emergency room. You can also call a doctor's office and explain the situation, saying, I don't have health insurance. What will you charge me for this exam? Or what will you charge me for this procedure? Because oftentimes they will have a separate price for insurance and a separate price for people who are without insurance. And so it's something to call the doctor's office, ask them what their options are, and if you pay in cash, you might be able to get a lot cheaper rate. Call and ask. It never hurts to do that. And coming in at number 5 on my list of items that are not in any particular order is prescription drugs. Depending on the plan that you have for health insurance, you may or may not have good coverage for prescription drugs, or you may not have health coverage at all. So in those situations, what you can do are several different things. First off, always see if there is a generic version of your drug that's available. Call the pharmacy, ask them if there's an alternative to your particular drug, and you may find out that you have huge savings on that. Whether you have insurance or not, that's still a good idea. Another option is they have online pharmacies these days. I used to do this for my dog Stella, and I will say it was a ton cheaper than getting the medication through the vet. So you may want to call some of the, again, online pharmacies to see if you can get your prescription drugs a little bit cheaper. Now, Costco also has really good prescription drug benefits. So if you're a member of Costco, you could definitely hit them up. And then there are also apps out there. One particular one that I know a friend uses is GoodRx. And they will go to a pharmacy and they will get a price, and then they look it up on GoodRx and they say, well, can you run it through GoodRx? Go ahead and check it out, because you may end up saving tons of money just by using those kind of apps. And the final way of dealing with prescription drugs is Algodones, Mexico. That is one of the best places for those of us on the road to get any kind of prescription medications. Now, what you do is you just go over the border, go to the pharmacy, pick up your medications. You will typically not need a prescription to get your medication. Now, I will say there are certain drugs that are not allowed to cross the border, but you can just call one of the pharmacies down there in Algodones, Mexico, and they will tell you whether it is legal to cross back into the US with that particular drug, or whether even they have that particular drug. So it doesn't hurt to call, see what they charge, see how that compares to your own prescription medication here in the States. And at the very least, you can go over and get a taco, maybe a margarita, whatever you'd like. Coming in at number 6 on our list of items to stay healthy on the road is going to talk about dental. So again, I'm going to start right off the bat and saying, you can go to Algodones, Mexico. I've done it myself for 3 different crowns that I've had, and it is so much cheaper. I've had great experiences down there. Talk to your other nomadic friends, find out who they went to, see if you can get a referral or a recommendation. You can also look on the reviews online just to check out if the dentist office you want to go to, if they have good reviews. Now, if you don't want to go down to Algodones, Mexico, another option for you is that each state has some HMO type plans for dental insurance, and they range from really cheap to really expensive. I personally pay about $8 a month to get dental insurance. Now, it doesn't cover you tons of things. It gives me an exam, gives me cleanings. I think the fillings are free or very little. They do cover for crowns and root canals. And what I would warn you on this is that I've used that in the past, and you'll go to one dentist office, and even though it says $300 that they should charge you, they'll say, well, it's $1,200 because they didn't account for this, this, and this. Call both your insurance company and your office and make sure that they are all on the same page of what they are going to charge you for your particular procedure. And the final thing on our list today is eyewear, right here, eyeglasses. These are prescription eyeglasses. Now, once again, I know we've already talked about Algodones, Mexico. This is another option for you out there that you can go to Algodones, Mexico, and you can get very cheap frames and glasses. They can usually do them right there on the spot. If you want anti-glare reflective coating, sometimes it may take a day or two, and you may have to come back a couple days later. But still, they offer really cheap options for getting your prescription and your glasses and lenses. So my go-to for the last 10 years has been going to Costco for my prescription glasses, for the exam. I think that they are great. Now, the only downside is that optometrist that is in a location, a certain Costco, they only cover you for that particular location as far as your eye exam. But once you actually order your glasses, frames, lenses, that stuff is covered at every single store. So you could even get it at one store and have it sent to another store if you're in the middle of traveling. So you have a lot of options there, and they have really good deals on their eyewear. So I would recommend at least checking them out if you have a Costco membership. You may even find that the $60 annual membership a year, you may end up saving at least that much on your exam, frames, lenses, the whole works. So if you think you do, it might be worth it to get that membership for at least that year. Now, the final option I'll mention as far as prescription eyeglasses and so forth would be some of the online eyeglass places. So there's Zenni, there's Glasses USA, there's a few other ones out there. They're getting more and more popular that if you have a prescription, you can just mail order your glasses online, they'll send them to you. You can even upload a photo of you and put the glasses on your face virtually to see if they would look good or not. They've come a long way on their service and things like that. So it's definitely something to check out, and I'm due for glasses very soon, so I'm gonna give them a try and see how it is because I've known other friends that have, and they've had really, really good luck with that. Okay, there you have it. The 7 things you can do to help afford healthcare while you're on the road or whether you're in sticks or bricks, whatever the case may be. Now, if none of these options work for you, there are a litany of options out there in regards to alternative methods of healthcare. Now, what I'd recommend for that is do a little research and get recommendations from friends because there are a lot of people out there peddling their snake oil, but some of it's actually legitimate. So do a little research, talk to your friends, see what has worked for them, and as long as it's not super expensive, you may want to look into doing some of those alternative healthcare practices. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention one other thing for you guys, and that is live a healthy lifestyle. That is one of the biggest things you can do for your health and well-being, whether it's physical, mental, all of the above, is just live a healthy lifestyle. Get a little bit of exercise, eat well, because that, having a stress-free life, is going to do wonders for your health and well-being. And I just can't emphasize that enough. Even if it's just going and walking on a beach, like right back there, it's going to help you out tremendously. So I hope that this video helped out in some way to point you in the right direction on how to get affordable healthcare and to take care of yourself on your journey towards financial freedom. Because all this stuff is interconnected, the less money we spend on healthcare in those items, the more we can put in the bank and use it for other things. I would absolutely love to hear from you what you thought of some of these ideas, and better yet, tell me what I missed. What suggestions do you have out there to help afford healthcare? If we all share our knowledge, it's gonna help the community tremendously. Join the conversation, leave it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you got anything out of today's video, please go ahead and give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and until next time, live a happy lifestyle and we'll see you down the road. Bye guys.